All right, Shalom Akim Shalom. Yabashim Shai Barakatham. To the household of faith out there, you brothers and sisters that can believe in this truth in these last days. Before I start though, I want to give all praises to the creator of the heavens and the earth, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostle, the elder bishops of the great millstone. Peace and mercy once again to the hopeful elect. Let's lock it real quick, brothers. All right, welcome back to another GMS Inspiration of the Almighty. Real quick, man, I got a little glare. Okay. All right, welcome back to another GMS Inspiration of the Almighty. And as you can see the title on this one, News Clips and Prophecy. This beast system is the direction the world is going. It's a news clip and prophecy where I send the videos, the different videos that I've ran across. I send it to myself, and it's a compilation, and I'm just gonna go through them. But this topic, the subtopic being under this beast system is the direction that the world is going in. Now, we know we sound like a broken record, as you hear Apostle Tahar say. We're very redundant, but this is necessary because this is the next thing that's gonna come, and it's gonna test your faith. You know, you say you believe right now, you're strong in the faith, you believe in Yahweh Shema Shai. Well, you're not gonna really know until you test it. And the test gonna come onto you. It's gonna be coming by the threat of being put to death. It's either you're gonna hold it down for Yahweh Shema Shai all the way to your death, or you're gonna compromise and be taken by the threat of Esau putting you to death, or take his microchip, and you end up taking it, man. Because this is a direction that the world is going in. So we do these videos to keep the flock up on date, and we telling the truth, man. We're telling the truth when it comes to Revelation, the 13th chapter. We are telling the truth, yo. We're not here to lie to you. All right. This is what the Heavenly Father has allowed this Edomite to come up with in these last days, because it's a grand plan from the Heavenly Father to judge the world and to take down this white man and to lift his people up again. This thing is very spiritual. Let's jump right into this thing. I don't got too much to say. I'm gonna let a lot of these videos ride. Some of the videos you may have seen, some of them may be old, some of them is new. All of them was recently put up new for sure. Now, it may be an old video that got re-put up again, but it doesn't matter. It still shows you this world is going in the direction of this beast system. The mark in Revelation, the 13th chapter, is that little grain of rice. Okay? And they finna come with this new world order, and they're gonna try to force everybody to go digital, or they're gonna kill you or exile you out of society. And this will be the test that the Heavenly Father will allow to come on the world, and you will be put in this pickle. So we're gonna constantly talk about this. We constantly gonna talk about this, always. We gotta have this implanted, embedded into us. Before we go to the videos, let's jump right here to Revelation 13 and 16. And it says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. That mark is talking about that little grain of rice. Okay? That device they want to put in you. It don't matter what your status is in society, they want to put that in your right hand or in your forehead, meaning in your brain. Okay? Let's go to these clips now. What's going on right now, the chip market, the chip stocks are shooting out the roof. Now, dealing with the chips, it ain't just talking about the RFID chip, but every type of chip that goes in computers, goes into devices, laptops, all of that. The stocks are shooting out the roof right now, because this is the direction that the world is going in. Let's play.
stock just jumped 12% and it's tied to something new. Memflation. This stock just jumped 12% and it's tied to something new. Memflation. This stock just jumped 12% and this stock
I don't know why when I try to
just
turn around
jumped 12%. This stock just jumped 12% and it's tied to something new. Memflation. Micron is surging as memory prices explode. Why? AI demand. Memory revenue is expected to nearly triple from about 216 billion to over 600 billion next year. And the entire chip market on track to hit around $1.3 trillion. Here's the shift. AI isn't just using chips, it's consuming memory at a massive scale. And supply can't keep up. So this isn't just a rally, it's a structural change. Because in AI, memory just became the bottleneck. This stock just jumped 12% and it's tied to something new. Memflation. Micron is surging as memory prices explode. Why? AI demand.
Let's look that word up.
To something new. Memflation.
Memflation. Let's see what exactly that is. As you can see, the stocks are shooting up because everybody's needing these chips to hold these memories. Let me type it. Define memflation. Okay, we're right here on Google. Memflation, a port of memory and inflation, describes the severe AI-driven price spikes for DRAM and NAND. For spikes for DRAM, DRAM, and NAND memory chips in early 2026. So there's an AI-driven price spike. Why? Because it's the system. Those little chips, let me show you what those chips do.
Micron is surging as
them little things is crucial.
Memory scientists.
Man, come on, bro. Do that.
If you've never actually seen how tiny these chips are, take a look at this mind-blowing footage of a microchip under a microscope. It's so insanely small that when I watched this for the first time, it made me wonder how human beings are even capable of creating something like this. To put it simply, a microchip is a highly engineered product carved out of a raw material called a semiconductor. And the most common semiconductor material used today is silicon. So physically, a microchip is literally just a tiny piece of silicon that has billions of microscopic electrical transistors or switches built directly into it. But what are these switches actually doing? They're simply flipping electricity on and off to create language that computers understand. If the switch is off, it's a 0. If the switch is on, then it's a 1. String enough of these together and you have computer code. But here's the cool part.
That's pretty crazy. You see that he was going under a microscope, going down and down. That little thing got layers on it that's holding memory. Let's go back to Revelations real quick, and then we'll go back to some more videos. Okay? Because this is just too easy, yo. And what I mean by it's easy, not a boastful way that it's easy for me to understand. It's easy to see. If somebody's out there telling you that this ain't the mark, they're lying to you. They're not paying attention. They're living in their own crusty little world, or they're lying to you. They sold out or something. Stocks is shooting up. This dude, the most I get to do a device where you got to use a freaking microscope to look how it got mad layers on it with holding tons and tons of data in memory. That is a crazy device. But when you go to Revelations 13, and we started at 16. When you look up the word mark, because we go into words, Strong's G5480. Type in G5480 on Google, and it's going to take you right to this word. The Greek word is charagma. We always go through this, the charagma. But it says a thing that's carved, sculptured, graven work, Off of that last video I just showed you, that is a graven work. That's something that's carved. That's sculptured. It had layers. It looked like a building. It looked like a layer of a buildings. That's what it looked like. Like you coming from an aerial view. You coming from an aerial view and you looking at buildings. That's what it looked like.
If you've never actually seen how tiny these chips are.
Look at this stuff, man. Come on, yo. Fucking asshole. Look at that, bro. That's a thing carved. Graven work. And that's holding all data. He just keep going in. It keep going more and more. We're not lying about when we tell you this. Now, when you go, it have a third root. Because remember, it's holding data. When you go to the third root, which is grapho, Strong's G 1125, and it tells you clearly, grapho, in the English, you already know that's graph. You wrote on graph paper. But the word means to commit to writings, things not to be forgotten, write down, record. Exactly what they want, because that's how they could play the Heavenly Father. Being able to have all your records in one database or one spot and being able to pick it up at will. The little grain of rice in your hand will be a transmitter. You would scan that, which will tie you, that transmitter is encoded. That would tie you to a profile that's stored in the data center or wherever they're going to store it in whatever center. It's not hard. But this is what the devil's doing. Let's jump back. Because stocks are going up.
Largest semiconductor chip manufacturer, one of the world's largest semiconductor chip manufacturers, just announced a $100 billion investment into the United States. Now, it's important to mention that Donald Trump has been threatening tariffs on chips imported into the United States. And this company, this Taiwan-based company, will now avoid those tariffs by building facilities in the United States and building the chips inside the United States. President Donald Trump announced today, alongside the CEO of Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, that they will be investing an additional $100 billion into the United States, specifically building facilities in Phoenix, Arizona. President Trump literally said today that if this company, otherwise known as TSMC abbreviated, if they kept making their chips in Taiwan, they would face a 25% tariff. But since they're moving over to the United States and making a $100 billion investment, there will be no tariffs. Now, it's important to also mention that they are widely regarded as the greatest chip manufacturers in the world.
Yeah,
so
Taiwan.
It's actually insane to think that the greatest chip manufacturers in the world will be producing chips in Phoenix, Arizona. One of the world's largest.
Yo, $1 billion investment, if I heard the number correctly, into having Taiwan build facilities to produce chips in America, man. And like I'm saying, this not just, when I'm saying the chips, I'm talking about those little squares, and you find your phone, it got the motherboard and the green, and it got all the what we just showed a couple seconds ago. These devils, why are they investing so much money into this technology? If we're not on point with what the mark is in Revelation, why are they investing in this stuff, man? Because this is the direction that the world is going in. This is what the scriptures prophesy. And this guy wants to mandatorily force the citizens of America and these other countries, the citizens of the world, to take this technology so they can play God against you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to play God against you. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. In reference to the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people. The elites of them, more namely. Because this is the elites that's funding this and that's came up with this evil plan. It's so evil that even the average everyday Edomite is just now finding out about it. So they're even leaving their own kind behind. That's why this soul in him is not upright. And this whole plan to want to do this to people is crazy. What the hell? You would think this, what's wrong with this dude? But the Spirit of the Lord got this dude doing this. It was written before he even came into this latter day power. It says, but the just shall live by faith. So we have faith that the Most High he gonna look out for us. It says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he uses his laws, his philosophy to get what he wants. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and he put unto him all people, that new world order. When everybody under his power, under the grip of his finger. Let's go to another clip here.
Semiconductor chip manufacturers just...
NVIDIA is the ultimate winner. Now you have these data centers. Now people, what's a data center? Well, you have all this incredible computing power. You've now locked into artificial intelligence. You have the ability to compute things that you never could before. And so you have to conglomerate them into centers that house these huge computers and are producing data. Okay, requiring tons of electricity. So there's a power race going. They say right now 50% of all construction in the United States is for data centers for AI. They all require awesome amounts of electric power. Now think about it. These supercomputers, what are they doing? They're producing data that was unavailable to us until now. How do you store data? You need what you call memory chips. And that's why my favorite stock is Micron, Micron. Micron is the leader in memory chips. You also have companies like AMD and SanDisk up 1,000. It's up several hundred points right now. Western Digital. You have good companies in that arena, but to me, my favorite is Micron. It's $500 a share. Big company just came out and said it's going to 1,000. NVIDIA, the greatest company in the history of planet Earth. All of these companies have one thing in common: they buy chips from NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the ultimate winner. Now,
you see? So you got certain of these, what do you want to call him, an analyst? I don't know what he is, Ross Mandel. But they're investing in Micron, NVIDIA. Because he stated that 50% of construction right now in America is focused on data centers. And those data centers could power freaking islands. It's just a big, giant warehouse with chips in them, holding data. So is the man of Great Millstone lying to you about when we tell you that they're gonna deceive you? They're going to try to deceive you into taking that little grain of rice under your skin. They're going to scare you, whether they have to scare you to do it, whether you voluntarily do it because they make it seem convenient. You know what I'm saying? However you're tricked, they want to trick you though. However you're tricked, it is what it is, but they want to trick you. This Revelation 19 and 20. It says, and the beast was taken, this new world order, and the false prophet, the Roman Catholic Church, where all of the religions came out of, and they used that damn Roman Catholic Church. It says, with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. So people are finna be deceived, however it come. But the Most High has had mercy on us. We know what's up. We've been paying attention before the different the different infrastructure have been built. We've been talking about this, starting from Apostle Tahar and the apostles. It says, with which he deceived them which received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. The end conclusion of that is going to be destroyed in nuclear fire. All right. But nonetheless, when you look up the word deceived, it's important to look that word up because it tells you something. It's Strong's G4105. The Greek word is planao, plan. And it says to cause to go astray. to lead away from the truth, to lead into error. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to forcibly try to force the people to lead them into error, to lead them away from the truth. Okay? We on point. Let's go to some more.
Have these data.
Where the next one at?
Well, Andrew, it's an unlikely partnership. Span, which is a small startup that makes smart home electrical panels, is teaming up with NVIDIA and Pulte Group, a major U.S. home builder. Span is now making small fractional data centers, or they call them nodes, that can be put on the side of residential homes. The idea is to take advantage of unused electrical capacity on local grids, which the Span smart panels can find. Now, a network of these nodes talking to each other across the country is about the equivalent of a mid-sized traditional data center. So these could negate the need to build as many. Hyperscalers and AI cloud providers just tap into the node network like a regular data center.
Wow.
Now, Span collaborated with NVIDIA using its technology in the system. Span claims it can install 8,000 of these units about 6 times faster and at 5 times lower cost than the construction of a typical centralized 100 megawatt data center of the same size.
Wow.
Now, Pulte Homes is in the early testing phase with these systems, which they have already deployed in a handful of communities. Now, why would a homeowner want this? Well, because they would just have to pay one flat fee for electrical and Wi-Fi, which Span said would be roughly $150 total. So a lot less than everybody's normal electric bill. So for much.
And that's the latter end of that video was the deception. Why would a homeowner want this? Because they don't only have to pay one flat rate, Wi-Fi and electricity together. That's I don't got to spend as much money. You know how these Americans are. You didn't hear what they want to place. Span, and NVIDIA teamed up to create little portable data centers outside of people's house. All right, man. If you don't believe what we saying, if you do not believe what the men of Great Millstone are saying, then that's your, bro, you got to do some righteous words towards you. Is you need to do some praying and some fasting, and the Lord to open your eyes up. But the other side is the negative talk about it towards you is, if you can't see this, then bro, go live your life. Go live your life, and when it happened, don't be surprised. Go live your life. Go do whatever you go think that the mark of the beast is Christianity, it's sin, or whatever the hell you think it is. And do not prepare yourself mentally. You're gonna get molded. You're gonna get molded. You know what I'm saying? It's like not a game. Eric Jake be full of games. Like, when you gonna be serious, bro? Right? That's just to everybody who speak against what we're saying. We got the receipts. We're backing up. We showing you videos. We hit the scriptures. You know what I mean? This thing is, the Most High is going to cause this thing to happen because it's going to test the world. Revelation 3:10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also would keep thee from the hour of temptation. This is going to be the hour of temptation when the world starts to move and that mandatory microchipping is happening. That's going to be the temptation, because then the things that you need to survive will be threatened, just straight up clear into you. You won't be able to go get food and water and things like that, man. The things that scare your flesh. Oh shit, I ain't gonna be able to go get that. Damn. But then you got to remember what the scriptures say. Like it said in that verse, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. We got to remember what the Most High has said. He's going to keep us because we kept his word. There's other scriptures say that we no longer, Isaiah the 10th chapter, verse 20, I believe, we no longer are going to stay upon him that smote us, but upon the Holy One of Israel in spirit and in truth, in other words. We're going to see what the Most High have for us. That's it. Jumping back to Revelation 3 and 10, it says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which should come upon all the world to try them that dwell on the earth. This is coming. This is coming. All these nations around the world is on the same mindset of getting these systems set up. So this is a worldwide thing that's happening now. Did I play this one?
What else can be grabbed out of my wallet?
Now check this video out right here. Check this video out. They're gonna be using situations like this to scare people into moving into the new system. Check this guy out. What happened to him?
What else can be grabbed out of my wallet?
Edgar Matthews was trying to use his debit card to pay for groceries at Safeway, but that never happened.
I hadn't tapped it, I hadn't inserted it, I hadn't swiped it, and then all of a sudden, out comes the receipt. I said, how did this get paid for?
The cashier couldn't explain it.
She stood there literally just sort of blank. I really thought that the guy ahead of me, that he had been charged. I said, somebody paid for this on a credit card somewhere.
Turns out the tap-to-pay card reader at Safeway had ignored the debit card in Edgar's hand. Instead, it reached into Edgar's back pocket, threw his wallet, and charged his Bank of America credit card tucked inside.
That's a pretty big reach. I mean, around me or through me to my wallet. Why didn't it grab the card that was near it? How did it decide what to grab?
I was shocked. I was like, well, it can't be.
Sonia Cesare says it happened at a doctor's office.
I went to pay and they said, you're already paid. And I said, I haven't inserted my card. I haven't even taken it out of my wallet.
Turns out the card reader there had sent radio waves into her purse and charged her credit card without her knowing it. And that wasn't all.
3 days later at a boutique in Yountville,
Sonia got an even bigger surprise at a little shop.
the woman
So
said,
you get the gist of it. You get the gist of it. They're gonna be saying the cards in your pocket are malfunctioning and things like that, man. These devils got think tanks, and they coming up with a juicy plan, and they're gonna sabotage what the paying systems that we have today. They're gonna sabotage those things, and people gonna literally be thinking that there's something just wrong with the system and we need something new. So these people were getting their cards charged, and they wasn't even like facing towards the thing, towards the payment little thing at the front of the registers. So when I seen that video, I said, damn, look at that. They're gonna try to use things like little malfunctions, saying all this stuff to get their plan, the evil plan going. This Revelations chapter 1, verse 3. It says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Now is the time to get your head in this book, get into these prophecies, because this is the prophecy that we're in right now. This is where we're at. We're at World War III prophecy, and we're at the Mark of the Beast prophecy. You know what I'm saying? And keep those things which are written therein. It said.
oh my,
Let me see. I'll leave it off with this one right here. Peep this one right here.
The cashier literally froze because of how this guy paid. No card, no phone. He just tapped his nobody. The cashier literally froze because of how this guy paid. No card, no phone. He just tapped his hand and payment approved. The cashier couldn't believe it. Turns out it was a tiny RFID chip implanted under his skin, inserted with a small injection. It works like a credit card, but way more advanced. Just tap your hand. You can pay, unlock doors, even start your car. And the craziest part, he doesn't need to carry anything anymore. The cashier literally froze because of how this guy paid. No card, no phone.
This is where we going, bros. they do when he like, what the, how'd you pay for that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Man, I'll praise y'all by Shema outside that my eyes opened up Just pray the Lord put the spirit on us not to take this thing. Revelation 22:7. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed he that keep the sayings and the prophecies of this book. Dua for you brothers and sisters that stopped through. Hope that was edifying. Yabashman Shah Barakatham to you brothers and sisters. Stay strong out there. Stay prayed up. And do not take that little mark, that grain of rice. Do not take it. Shalom.